I think in mainstream financial circles, we hear a lot about the practical around financial literacy and skills and that sort of thing, but we don't hear as much around the emotional component and working with the emotional experience with money. And we don't necessarily always hear about the energetic component. I think when I look at what's happening in money conversations out in the industry, it's sort of there are two poles, right? You've got the people who are talking about the practical. There's people over here on the other end talking about the woo and the energetic. And my sweet spot is really bringing it all together and bringing it home to the body and working with the body's wisdom to help people move forward and evolve in their relationship with money.
Welcome to She Coaches Coaches, the podcast where we have thoughtful, honest conversations about what it really takes to build a thriving coaching business. I'm your host, Candy Motzek, and before building my business, I spent years as a senior corporate leader. Now, today, I work with coaches who are smart, well-trained, and deeply capable, and who want clarity about how to grow in a way that feels aligned and financially sustainable. On this show, I sit down with successful coaches to explore the real decisions behind their success, how they got started, what shifted as they grew, and the mindset and business choices that helped them gain momentum without burning out. Whether you're early in your coaching journey or refining a business you've already built, She Coaches Coaches is here to offer perspective, confidence, and grounded insight to support your next chapter. To learn more about how I work with people, go to my website, stepintosuccessnow.com. And now let's dive in. Hey, and welcome to this episode of She Coaches Coaches. I'm your host, Candy Motzek, and I am welcoming a really special guest. Her name is JD Rose. Now, let me tell you a little bit about her before we dive in. She shares this. Money problems are rarely about money. They're about nervous system safety and cultural conditioning. And JD is a financial well-being coach and creator of the Whole Money Method, a whole person approach to personal finance, grounded in practical strategy, emotional clarity, and energy alignment. Drawing on 25 years spanning bodywork, health and business coaching, and financial well-being, she helps women feel clear, confident, and genuinely at peace with money. Janie, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks, Candy. I'm so glad I'm here too.
Yeah. Tell me, what are you most excited about in your work right now?
There's so much to be excited about. I mean, every day I'm excited about the shifts that my clients are making in their relationships with money. And right now in the business itself, I'm building some new offers to help clients along the way. Up until this point, I've been working with folks in my 6-month program one-on-one. Last year, I just launched a pilot program for a group program, which went really well. So I'm looking to expand on that and then adding in a couple of little smaller offers along the way just to kind of smooth out the customer journey so that people can dive in and grab whatever works for them in the moment if they're not ready to commit to a longer engagement of coaching.
I love that. It sounds like the business is becoming more whole, just like your mission that you shared in your bio, right? Just a polar.
The container is just getting stronger and stronger every day. It's really been lovely to build and grow and having a great time.
How did you get into this work?
20 minutes doesn't cover that. So let's give you the nutshell.
Okay.
I've been in this in the wellness industry for about 20, 25 years. And I started off as a massage therapist originally because I just love helping people like come home to their bodies, come home to themselves. So all of my work is rooted in that. And then that business expanded into health coaching as well. And as my health coaching business grew, I was invited to come onto staff at a well-known school for health coaches that trained coaches and helped them build their businesses. So I was a mentor there for about 8 years. And in that work cycle, everyone I was talking to was really bumping up against issues around money. All of the beliefs that they had that, what all the things around what wasn't possible for them. And I realized that everything that I had been doing in my own money journey, combined with the skill sets that I had from the work that I'd been doing in the world, all sort of came together in this beautiful way to support people in creating a better relationship with money.
Really sounds like it was an evolution. As you evolved, it's like, here was the next thing available. You couldn't have done this if you didn't have all that history, right?
I think that's so true. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could have gone to a financial certification program and hung out my shingle, but I don't think I would have ever gotten to the point where I knew that that was something that was in my heart to do. The work is really a labor of love. And I love the word that you use, this idea of evolution, because that's at the core of the work that I do with people. It's this idea that we are constantly processes that are unfolding and evolving, and we're always meeting new versions of ourselves.
Sometimes we get to meet them a little sooner than we were ready to.
True, for sure.
Is there one idea that changed how you think about success?
I think, and I don't know when this came on my radar, but just the concept that success is really a personal definition. That there's no universal definition for what success is. And so when I really took a moment to sit down and think, well, what does success look like and feel like for me? That helped me move more in the direction of, I think, the path that I was meant to be on, that was going to lead me to true success.
What's your current definition of success?
My current definition of success has to do with my own personal day-to-day lived experience, right? Am I enjoying my life? Does it feel fluid and natural? Is it nourishing me? And am I bringing that nourishment into the world in some form of contribution for others? I feel like there's a real reciprocity there, a balance. And that's really for me what success is at this stage of my life.
Yeah, I bet it was different 20 years ago, it was something completely different, right?
Probably. I don't even it's so funny because I had this story when I was growing up about, like, what I was gonna be doing in my life, and in my work, and none of that ended up being the thing, and it wasn't even that I was looking at that as, "Oh, I'll be successful when." It's just so funny how we have a picture of one thing that we're moving toward, but we never stop and sit back and go, "Well, what is it that I'm really wanting to experience in that?" Right? Like, what is it about that thing that's feeding me? And I think those are the questions that are so much more valuable to be asking. Like, how do we want to be feeling? What do we want to be experiencing? And then making decisions based on, oh, what's going to bring us into that arena?
Yeah, I think that's really key. You know, when you're youthful, young, you think, well, I want to be an X, right? But like you're saying, what is it about that is so attractive? Is it that you get freedom? Is it that you get to be continually mastering something? Is it that you're always connected with people? Like, what is it about that makes that such an interesting path to take? Yeah.
Mm,
Interesting. I
yeah.
love that. What's something that you've really learned about yourself as you do the work that you do?
Something I've learned about myself. I think so. I've really learned seeing what's happening for my clients, seeing what's happening in their lives and the ripple effect for them. I've really come to look at my own life and understand better about the ripple effect that I might be having in my own life. It's so interesting because I think very often as coaches, we're focused outside ourselves on the client and their experience. And we're not always coming back to reflect on, how is this changing me? How is this impacting me? How am I learning and growing in this interaction? And I'm learning to see myself in ways that I didn't see myself before because my clients are mirrors for that.
That's so
So
interesting.
that's been a really interesting process to engage in a way that I
Yeah.
hadn't really before.
And it's really like there's this really kind of organic feel, coach goes first. We grow, we're on the leading edge of growth for the clients that we work with. But then also to get that, see the ripple effect of yourself in them. It's really interesting. Like there's a lot of nested things going on here.
I think that's true with all of life. I think that's the way nature operates, right? I mean, we are natural creatures, even though we often forget that we're part of nature. And that's often what we see in natural landscapes, right? There's a little something that's happening over here, but then if you span out in that ecosystem, oh, well, this is connected in that way. And this activity over here with the ants is having this effect on the birds, which is having this effect on the flowers, which is having this effect on, fill in the blank. So it all ripples out. We're all constantly unfolding.
And the word that just sort of occurs to me is just the reminder that this is an ecosystem. So we've
Yeah.
got an ecosystem for ourselves and how we're growing in relationship to life. If you were talking to somebody that they were much earlier in their journey, what would you share with them to help them along their way?
I have questions around that because I don't necessarily have the answer for that one because I want to know what's the journey that they're undertaking, right? Like, who are they? Where are they going? What's going to be beneficial for them? I don't know that there's a one size fits all nugget that I can just throw out as a soundbite, even though I want to. Yeah, I think curiosity, because as I'm saying this, I'm realizing, oh, this is coming from a natural curiosity in me. And I think that's the thing that propels everyone in their life, right? Like, if you bring curiosity to whatever your endeavor is, wherever you're starting, whatever you're doing, that curiosity is going to lead you to the next thing. It's going to lead you to the next connection. It's going to lead you to the next opportunity or epiphany. Curiosity, I think, is the seed for a lot.
And I love how you demonstrated that. I don't have the soundbite, but I have questions about that, right? So, like right off the bat, you're curious. And that is the thing that you would impart to somebody who's earlier in the journey, too. Be curious, be open.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. A year from now, this episode will be recorded, it'll be released, it's been out in the world for a while, and somebody's going to happen on it. That person, as they listen to this episode, what's an idea that you would love them to take away? It's like, I really loved that episode because what? What did they take away from this conversation?
I love that word evolution that we touched on earlier. And I'm always talking to my clients about being able to trust the process because they are the process, right? That idea that we are constantly evolving. And so, particularly when it comes to money, I think we get this idea in our minds or success that there's a destination that we're headed toward. And when we get to that destination, that's when we have the experience we're looking for. But really, the experience is in every moment of that unfolding evolution. I hope that's the takeaway. And to really
Yeah.
just be present for whatever is unfolding for you right now, because there's so many gifts right here, even baked into the things that don't necessarily look or feel like it.
Yeah, sometimes it's afterwards, later on that we can kind of have that feeling
Absolutely.
that it's a
Yeah.
bit of a gift, right? When you work with your clients around their money mindset, their money strategies as well, do you have sort of a framework that you follow, like a certain approach that you like to follow with people?
I do. I created a method. I call it the whole money method. And it's kind of the roadmap or the framework that I wish I had with money when I started out. It was sort of process of elimination, figuring all that out too for me. And it really takes a look at the three dimensions of financial well-being. So I think in mainstream financial circles, we hear a lot about the practical around financial literacy and skills and that sort of thing, but we don't hear as much around the emotional component and working with the emotional experience with money. And we don't necessarily always hear about the energetic component. I think when I look at what's happening in money conversations out in the industry, there are two poles, right? You've got the people who are talking about the practical over here. You're talking about the people, there's people over here on the other end talking about the woo and the energetic. And my sweet spot is really bringing it all together, and bringing it home to the body, and working with the body's wisdom, to help people move forward and evolve in their relationship with money.
I love that. A much more holistic approach. Yeah. And money is a stand in for so many things in our life, isn't it?
Well, it's a mirror for us, right? And it's a
There we
tool. Yeah. Oh, it's a wonderful mirror. It's so funny because people have so many different ideas about what money is or isn't. And at the end of the day, it's just this thing that we made up in order to make transactions between people easier. And the way that we interact with it reflects so much of what we believe about ourselves as individuals, as a society, as a collective.
Can you share a little bit about how people can find out more about you and share if you have a free gift for our listeners?
Absolutely. And you can easily find me online in a bunch of different places. My website is theresourcedwoman.com. I'm on LinkedIn, JD Rose. You'll find me as the financial well-being coach for sensitive souls. And I'm also on Instagram at the resourced woman. Easy to find. I do have a free gift for listeners. If you're interested, you can easily access that through the Instagram account, but I can also give you the specific link so it's easy for folks. And that is the safe money ritual. So I created this because the women that I work with primarily come to me because they have a lot of anxiety and overwhelm around money. And just that entry point of being able to sit and feel safe in your body and talk about it is the big obstacle. So, the safe money ritual is a quick little 8-minute somatic reset. It gives you a tool to take away with you that you can use later.
Thank you. There's a lot to talk about here. And I know that we had limited time, but I so appreciate the time that you spent with me and the openness and the vulnerability as well that you shared with the listeners. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Candy. It's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed our conversation.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of She Coaches Coaches. If this conversation resonated, take a moment to reflect on what stood out and how it connects to where you are right now. Coaching businesses grow through clarity and thoughtful choices, not pressure or hustle. If you'd like more support, you can learn more at stepintosuccessnow.com. I'll put the link in the episode notes. And if you found this episode helpful, I'd appreciate it if you would share it with a peer or colleague who would enjoy it as well. I appreciate you being here. Have a great day.